the record, I'm calling this the Riker rig.
Riker rig?
Yeah.
All right, that works.
The Riker rig.
All right, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to the YouTube Content Creators Association. I am your host, the veteran, and my co-host, Prometheus Prophets. We got some special guests for us tonight. We got Hannibal and Monty with us tonight, along with Krilo Alliance. They just got done doing their Golden Turd Awards show, and to be honest, it was a really awesome show.
Thank you. Thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. It was a look. Me and Monty and I, we were weighing the pros and cons. Like, no, we weren't weighing. We did the show. We was like, you know what, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do an award show. And all I remember thinking to myself was like, man, this could be a really bad idea if we don't execute this right. And it was like we just started building up our fan base, and I was like, the last thing we want to do is do an award show and just alienate them. And it worked out fine. It worked out good. People liked it.
Dude, I'll tell you though, that was probably like, you guys call yourself the shit show, but yes, believe me, I know shit shows. You're on one right now. But believe me, that was really well executed. And you know, I wish I could like have the expertise and the knowledge that you guys have, but that was really awesome. And I just besides butt stuff losing, you know, butt stuff should have fucking won. You know,
all that expertise you saw. And I need to adjust my mic because I'm getting caught by Ben Collinsworth.
Oh, are you?
He's here with me.
Yeah, I don't have a mic. I just have my iPad.
It's all him.
Yeah, before joining the shit show, you saw the nominated for second best show, the Brett Diamond show. I started that one. That was 116 episodes, and then I brought that over now to Hannibal and Monty shit show, and doing that, some other shows too.
Oh wow! So what shows are you doing? Because we kind of promote other channels.
Yeah.
And if you're you have a channel that you want to promote, by all means, we'll link in the description.
The Alliance, the Krilo Alliance has its own channel, and then and it's got just a few of the like sort of bit political pieces that we've done. And then we're also going to do another show that's called The Peanut Gallery, from The Peanut Gallery is the full title. And it's a second screen show, basically.
Okay.
Do you want to watch if you watch the Transformers episode of Hannibal and Monty shit show, when Monty was doing the prep for that, we recorded all of those watches live, and they're gonna be released with a small bar at the bottom, so you can watch it with us.
Is anyone else getting a bunch of feedback?
I think that's me and Monty.
That's okay.
Yeah, but, it's probably my fault. I'm adjusting.
It's all good, bud. So anyway, the Krilo Alliance, I'm on the page right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll link you guys down in the description.
Cool.
And
yeah, we do that. We are a lot more Twitter, Facebook stuff. There's some other shows we're working on, a podcast type thing, and then also about basically trying to support at least like Gulf Coast creation and content.
Okay. So I'm guessing Hannibal and you are in Louisiana. And
Monty and Ben are in Louisiana. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, the home of the notorious, the notorious Falcons fan.
You're a Falcons fan?
I am not a Falcons fan in any comparison. With you watch your GD mouth when you say that to me.
Hey, I'm a Niners fan, okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Chargers all the way.
Chargers, fucking Chargers.
The Chargers got really close this year. Like, there were a lot of people. Who was it? Was it Stephen A. Smith? No, it wasn't Stephen A. Smith. Who was it?
Oh well, there you go. That was wrong.
It was there was some.
It's always wrong when you say Stephen A. Smith. He might be the nominee for the Sunken Place.
Stephen A.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't Stephen A. Some sports journalist said this year, like before the season started, they were doing their Super Bowl picks. They picked it to be the Chargers versus the Saints in the Super Bowl. And I was like, they were like really close. Like Stephen A. Smith actually picked the Steelers and the Saints.
Yeah. Well, they were decent this year, but that's about as good as they get, But
hey, I'm all for suing the NFL until there's no more NFL.
Dude, you guys got I live right next to LA, and I'll tell you guys got robbed. You guys got robbed so hard.
Dude, that is the second time the state of Louisiana has gotten the absolute worst bone job in the history of football in the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you, I remember a time when the 49ers got boned in Louisiana one time. I remember
that game? I don't remember.
The one where Drew Brees' neck did look like a snake for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
I remember that.
Yeah, and they got and that actually cost the 49ers the game, which cost them home field advantage in the playoffs. Then the 49ers lost in the NFC Championship game.
Oh,
we got two monies. We got two monies.
Yes, you might have to drop one.
Yeah,
I'm going to drop one right now.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Let's see.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Sophie's Choice. There you go.
There you go.
Let's talk about your guys' show because that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how do you come up with what topics you guys want to talk about? Or just pull the shit out of your asses? Do you just you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about who's the most scandalous, nasty ass girlfriends. You know what I'm saying?
So go ahead.
I'll let Hannibal go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we're doing show topics, we'll normally after the shows, we'll sit down and we'll just be like, okay, so what do we want to talk about? And we'll try to think a little bit ahead, like Monty likes to have our shows planned out like a month in advance. So we like to have 4 to 6 shows planned ahead. So for February, we sat down in the end of December and started planning out the shows for January through to February. And then once we get to the top of February, we'll plan out the shows all the way to April. So we'll try to think and we'll try to center it around stuff that we like to talk about. We have sections on the show that allow us to kind of keep it topical and in the moment. So it's if something big happens that week, we can talk about it right then and there with some of the other segments check this shit out, shit we don't care about, fair foul, so we can talk about it. But we'll sit down and since February is Black History Month, we're okay, cool. We can do a Black comic book show. We can a Black comic book movie show. We can do the Tyler Perry torture episode. But then just to even it out, we'll have the Star Trek episode because it's also some super nerdy shit.
Which I'm not on.
About.
Which I'm not going to be on, and that already means that we should have another Star Trek episode after that one.
Ben, you can be on that episode.
Oh no! You didn't.
He does kind of look like Bones.
Wait, Bones? You like Bones?
He said he kind of looks like Bones.
Oh, me?
Oh, all right.
I was
all right.
With the beard, I was thinking I was Frakes.
I was thinking you. That's what you look like to me. You look like evil Riker that was
Thomas Thomas Riker, the one that stole the Defiant on the episode of Deep Space Nine. The one that's the transporter clone from when the 2 transporters happened when he was back in the day, and then the weird thing on the planet blocked that one, and Thomas got stuck down there and still was in love with Deanna Troi, and then there's this whole episode of where he's got this weird I still love you, and Deanna's that was a long time ago, dude, get the fuck over it.
So very clearly you don't remember that episode.
What's going on?
The action figure.
This has been guilt tripping me for not immediately calling him and saying, "Hey, we're doing a Star Trek episode." I'm sorry, Ben.
No.
Yeah,
you're welcome to be on the episode.
Just so you know, Ben Collinsworth from the Creole Alliance and the Peanut Gallery.
Most of the Jonathan Frakes stories I have. I'm just saying.
So look, I'm just look. So first off, Ben Collinsworth from the Creole Alliance and the Peanut Gallery. I just want you to know that when we sat down and came up with the idea to do the Star Trek episode, Monty vehemently said he did not want you on that episode.
Oh, I know.
No, hey,
Hey,
You trying to start a new beef?
I'm very well aware with hosts being threatened by their producers.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That none of that's true at all. I just wanted to say it because it's hilarious. But I thought it was, like when we come up with the shows, we'll try to think ahead of time. So like, we know, like for instance, the DC animated universe is going to be releasing the Reign of the Superman at the end of the month. I think it actually might be out in some places, but it'll be like officially out at the end of the month. So we're already planning on doing a Superman episode where we rate all the Superman movies, animated and live action, and put them in order from best to worst, and then add that to our great comic book list. That we're working on. So we'll try to think like ahead, like a few steps. Try to see certain things that's coming out, and just talk about shit that we like: music, comic books, video games, toys, fucking nerd shit, politics, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And especially as we revisit those types of content, that's what we're also doing with Peanut Galleries. We're just kind of like taking our prep and making another show out of prep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh. You taking notes there, Prometheus?
Blow his nose. Give me 1 second. Tilt my camera so you don't see me. Take my mask off.
Yeah, we got that. There's another thing that we're going to do too that we're slowly putting together. It's called Beef League. That's going to be a whole different piece of the show that'll come in and out, and then also we're getting other shows to be a part of it. So.
Sounds interesting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Prometheus.
Oh yeah. So when it comes to like the latest Superman animated movie of him versus Doomsday, what was your opinion of that?
I can tell you that one very, very diligent. So when we did that episode, because I'm very impassioned about this, and I'm glad that it's going so well. So I've been wanting to do just take 2 steps back. For a very long time I've been pitching, like back when we used to do Monty and the Mongoose's Little Show featuring Hannibal the Beat Animal. I would always tell them that I wanted to do this great comic book list where we would take every comic book movie that ever came out and create a list, putting them in order from the very best all the way down to the very worst. And when we started
Heroes of Atlantis, by the way, when he says the very worst. Right now it's the very worst. So when Monty and I started doing the show, I came up with the idea of when we start doing these comic book shows, we could start the list then. Because I had the grading system and I had like the weighting system and all of the stuff that I wanted to do. And it was just like, and then what we would do is we would just periodically just add to it. So we wouldn't try to watch all the movies at once. You watch like a little at a time. Like this episode, we do like 4 or 5 movies. Then like down the line, we do like another 4 or 5 movies. So anyway, when I came up with the idea for us to do all the comic book movies that came out in 2018, the first thing I collected up all the movies, put them in a Google Drive link so we could all watch them, and then actively rank those films. So I said that to say this: on our list, like we put all the movies in order from best to worst based on the grading system, and we're gonna actually post this very soon. We actually post it tomorrow, really. Death of Superman was actually tied for the 5th best movie of the year, along with Deadpool, according to our ranking system. Both of those movies got high B pluses, with a rate with a ranking of 3.425, which is like basically like we grade everything on an A to F grading scale. So it was like Panther was 1, Infinity War was 2, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse was 3, Suicide Squad, Hellpay was 4, and then tied for 5th was Deadpool 2 and Death of Superman.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I got to admit, I love the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that movie was super duper badass, and then it just randomly came out of nowhere. So
Suicide Squad Hell to Pay was amazing.
Yeah,
I thoroughly.
Oh yeah,
enjoyed.
It was definitely needed, especially after the Hollywood disaster.
Yeah.
And Prometheus, if you've never seen it, so DC did 2 animated Suicide Squad movies.
Oh yeah.
And for a long time, what DC would do is right ahead of the live action movie, they would release
an animated version of the same film. And I shit you not when I tell you, every animated version of a film that they've put out has been superior to the live action film in every capacity. Like, it's amazing to me that the DC animated department gets it so right, and the live action team gets it so wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a discussion about many of ways about how that happens, and the long story short is I don't know why they don't get the script writers from the animation department to go across the lot.
Yeah,
because those scripts are just better.
Well, I mean, it seems like the script writers for the animated shows, they're more invested in the storylines and they have more knowledge. So when they do a Batman story or when they do a Superman story, they know what makes Batman and what makes Superman, who they are and why they're so inspiring to other people. So when they do the anime movies, they have more knowledge and they care more about the story. When it comes across to movies, it's just a quick cash grab by whoever wants to get in.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the directors they're picking or what the overall problem is. DC, it's just all bad, and I'm just like, guys, just flush it,
Yeah,
just flush it, start over.
The producers want to step in and say, nope, you can't do that. They chop the movie up so much to appease, Sony or whoever.
Well, it's all Warner's.
Those.
And they do that. And the other thing is they just don't care because the movie's going to clear in China and it's going to clear overseas because they don't really care about the dialogue in those markets, and it does, and it makes money, and that's how they continue to exist. It's probably actually how we'll get a Warcraft 2 also.
Oh, Warcraft was so awful.
That movie's high hopes. It's
bad. Warcraft has such a great story behind it too. I remember playing Warcraft 3 and just loving the story behind it, and what they are doing with it just makes no sense.
Yeah. They should have started at the second game.
Yeah, they should have. So
Warcraft 2 was the game that made me fall in love with all of those overhead
RTS.
Yeah.
So Hannibal and Monty, I remember you were doing a show one time, and you guys were talking about Church of Gale, and you said, and I said, have you seen the video where the Church of Gale is being chased by a burrito and taco?
Oh, I don't know, Ben Collinsworth. I don't know if you want to be in on this.
It's only a 2-minute long video, but you told me to get you the link. I got you, and I got it up right now. Do you want to watch it?
I do. I want to see. Wait, real quick before you play this, I'm curious.
Ben Collinsworth does it, but
what is it? I don't even know what we're talking about.
You'll see.
Look,
this is one of the more mild of her videos, by the way.
I'm curious, Ben Collinsworth. Do you know or have you met Brent Spiner in your travels?
Oh yeah, well, do you want to hear the story or do you just want to hear yes or no?
A little bit of both, but I want to see this video first. But I definitely hear your Brent Spiner story.
Okay.
Wait, one more random, just super nerd question: have you met Renee Auberjonois from?
Odo.
Odo.
Have I met in a signing line when I was young, but not like in a professional capacity. No.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll leave the Star Trek shit alone. Okay. I want to see this video.
All right, I'm gonna show you.
As a sidebar atheist veteran, your background is fucking awesome. Like, I'm so jelly right now. Mario Kart the lamp from fucking
Truth.
Yeah, that shit is badass. I'm
for Christmas.
And is that a Spider-Man bank in the background? We're gonna see it again in a second.
Monty looks like a New Orleans pimp now with like the books behind him.
We've got a bit of an emergency here. What happened is,
I do.
Yeah, Bill Nye showed up and he created a shield that covered Mexico and transformed the pukaki into burritos and tacos. And it was feeding all the Mexican people. And they were eating the burritos and tacos, and they tasted good. But it also created two giant, evil, sentient tacos and burritos. And the Mexicans and are attacking Church of Gale. The church is trying to go do something like go through the sun or something, but we need more scientists to help Bill Nye, because Bill Nye actually came up with the shield, but he thinks that the Jesuits he thinks that the Jesuits decalibrated his quantum subharmonic actuator and caused the shield to create this giant taco and burrito that's following Church of Gale right now, trying to eat them. But at least they got it away from the poor Mexicans. But it's hot on Church of Gale's trail. We need scientists. Email us at gailcordschuler@gmail.com. The link will be underneath this video. The tacos are shooting at their communication array, so I may lose Terrance. I'm in the middle of a Skype with him. The shield turned the pukaki into tacos and burritos, and we had won, but apparently the Jesuits sabotaged the shield, and so scientists try contacting gailcordschuler@gmail.com, and so just we need some help. This is an emergency, okay? And also, Barack Obama, if you're listening to me, Church of Gale is being attacked by a giant sentient burrito and taco. So.
Shut up.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question.
So wait, first things first. I can bet everything I got that Barack Obama is not watching her videos. You know what I'm saying? I think I can get. I would bet my motherfucking rent. None of her videos and shit like that. Wait, what was she saying about bukkake tacos? And
this is a follow up.
If that was a band, the bukkake taco, yes. Bukkake taco. I would go check out that band. That sounds like a dope band.
Yeah. Apparently, this was part one. I remember there's a part two where they defeat the tacos and the burrito by flying through the sun and making the tacos and the
hang on.
Delicious.
I think Ben Collinsworth has questions before we get to this.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Hang on.
Well, I do, because first of all, it was sentient taco and burrito. So my questions are there a taco? Is there a sentient taco and a sentient burrito, or is this some sort of like mutant taco burrito? Special Taco Bell item hybrid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good question, and also that's a great question, and it sounds delicious.
My second question is: I had no idea that the Jesuit high school over here down the road was so involved in weird. I mean, Monty lives down the street from a place that's called Jesuit. I'm just saying.
I'm close to it. The Jesuits are right here.
Are you down the street from Jesuit?
I'm close to some shit.
I say down the street, but I'll tell you, he's close.
From what I can interpret, I'm guessing it's a single mutant burrito and a single mutant taco.
Okay, so we're talking about two sentient things here.
Yeah,
like Rocksteady.
It's not an enchilada. It's not a taco. You know.
Okay.
I mean, that's just what I'm getting.
Yeah, no, I'll be right back, guys.
If you guys watched my previous video where I discussed...
Sorry, that's me. There we go.
I was like, okay, now this is getting weird. Where's she coming from?
No. I'm trying to find the link for this so that I can watch the live chat. I like to watch the live chat.
Oh, okay.
Monty's a man of the people.
Yes.
Yeah, where's my live chat at? We got one person in here. Hello, what's going on in here?
Send me a link. I like to communicate with the people.
Yeah. I want to shoot it out. I want to shoot it out to all of our. Are we calling them shitheads or shit talkers?
I I like shit talkers too. What do y'all think?
I think shit talkers might be more friendly, but I think shitheads might be more apt.
Yeah, I actually like shit lords.
Yeah, okay. Monty, there's a link. I just sent it to you. Oh wait, no, that's the link. My bad. That's the link with. Yeah, there we go. That's just all right. Yeah, we're good.
Forward it to me.
You can also just go the entire other way around and just say that the audience is the potpourri.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. We're the shit, and they're the smell good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you sugarcoating it a little too much, man. Your audience is big boys and big girls.
You gotta sugarcoat the audience. You always sugarcoat the audience.
No.
Yeah. Because then they forgive you when you are mean to them.
Wait, wait, atheist veteran. In the background, is that the cube from fucking Hellraiser?
No, it's just a regular. It's a regular. Well, it's not a regular Rubik's cube. It's an extreme cube or something, whatever.
Okay,
but I wish.
I was very excited just now. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I just picked this sucker up though. This sucker is awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yep. But yeah. So I don't know. Gail's weird. I think I got one more video of her, but I don't know if you guys want to watch it or not. But
bring it on. Whatever you got.
Yeah, whatever. Monty, you ain't got no video.
Oh, hang on. I'm coming back. There we go.
So this is Gail Korchuler, and she says all of her men have lost their penises.
Oh, I saw this one. Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, all of her men have lost her penises?
Their penises.
Their penises. Is this the one where she talks about them having vagina butts?
You know what? I haven't gotten that far into it, but I
see you don't dig deep enough.
And see,
I don't want to dig deep enough. If I dug too far into this, I'll never come back.
Oh, you can come back. I do it every day.
And yet he will not watch Fight Club. I just want to point that out.
Fight Club, right?
Right.
All right, here you go.
I refuse to.
I know you got to get. That's why you got to get in our Slack, Hannibal, so that you can talk to the Slack bot and tell it Monty hasn't seen that, and they'll tell you typical.
Yeah.
True.
I Skyped with Terrence Jenkins last night. I finally heard from him after a silence of 1.5 months. Around June the 21st, when Terrence was Skyping with me, Brent Spiner said, "Hey, yoo-hoo, Terrence, something's going on with Matthew McConaughey's penis." And what was happening was all of my men's penises were being attacked. There was a very serious malware in the computer system at Church of Gale that caused all the men at Church of Gale to cause them to have all sorts of penis afflictions. It was very painful. And let me just, the ordeal with the penises lasted for at least a good week in that June. Like from June 21st to June 28th, they were just having this ordeal with penises because of Jesuit trigger programming on the Church of Gale computer. They spent a lot of time in sick bay. Matthew practically had a vagina at that point. What happened was Vladimir Putin, they found out that
Here we go. See, look. She said Putin and the video crashed. I'm in now. What's going on?
I'll tell you. No, I paused it because we need some commentary on that one.
Well, first, I'm pretty sure Brent doesn't know McConaughey. I'm just gonna start right there. I'm pretty sure Brent doesn't know McConaughey.
You know, Brent Spiner actually knows who she is. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I know that.
Who she is. That's why we talked about Monty. I'm like, don't run her shit, man. I mean, it's not that you are. We're talking about it here. It's totally fine. I'm not.
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh no, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that enough.
That's enough.
It was just to catch Hannibal up because I had to catch up too.
But no, I didn't know her name or anything else. I just knew of the story, and it had been told to me by them. So
yeah, she has a book out if you really want to catch it up.
Shut
I'm good.
So I asked this question once before. I think it was on the Drunken Peasants. Is she trolling or is she serious?
She's really serious because she's been doing this for over 20 years.
Yeah, I was say she goes back to before
See, look
YouTube.
what I'm saying. That's a long time to be.
She got a restraining order on her.
Crazy. That's a very long time to be crazy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like,
that's a long time to be.
So she's been doing it for a while. In fact, there's actually footage of a fan at a Comic-Con or something like that.
That was like a thing, and it was bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah. I can't imagine being someone like Brent Spiner on the other end of this shit. So
it's
very funny. Okay, so now here's where I'll tell the Brent Spiner story. So I know Frakes, and they when they were doing the, I guess, was it the 25th anniversary or the 20th anniversary? I don't know, for Next Gen a few years ago. They like sent everyone was supposed to be here from Next Gen, but Patrick Stewart backed out to go do Days of Future Past. And, so Frakes got me. I talked to Frakes, like, okay, hey, can I get into the con? He's like, oh yeah, here, I'll put you on the list and get you in. Okay, cool. And I go, so I just kind of hang out at Frakes' booth with him. And so Frakes is there, and he's in the middle, and then to his right, to his left, I'm sorry, to his right was Brent, and to his left was LeVar.
Yeah.
And it's very funny because there's the three of their tables, they're right next to each other. There's like a few people that keep trickling into him. There's a few people that keep trickling into Frakes. There's a few that keep trickling into LeVar. And Brent always has a small line. Always. Mm-hmm. And the whole time, all these people are coming up and saying, oh, Data's my favorite. Data's my favorite. Data's my favorite. And so he's going, and he's like, oh, Data's your favorite? Yeah, yeah. Hey, Johnny, you hear that? What, Brent? What? Data's his favorite. Yes, we all love Data. It's his Christ-like qualities. Breaks. And literally, this went on the whole day. This is the two of them. Is that? And then every now and then, LeVar is like coming back with a drink from the bar and chiming in.
Yeah.
And then the Chewbacca's crew comes by and sings him Reading Rainbow, and it was interesting just to see and sit them all cheer there, because that whole crew actually is very dear friends.
Yeah.
And so it's honestly, your best shows on television are usually your casts that get along very, very well. And there's this one of them, and it's funny how much they rib each other mercilessly, still to this day.
As I just wish Kurt. How did I forget his name? Anyway. So Leonard Nimoy didn't have the same relationship.
Yeah, the two of them have always had a Shatner and Nimoy. Yeah. It was a weird dynamic, and I think that's because a lot of it too is that they're stepping into Star Trek. Well, I mean, first of all, they're the ones that start, but then on top of that, they are also ones who became big in the era of first becoming like massively huge on television out of nowhere. And that was a very new concept at the time. Like, that just wasn't a thing. Like, I mean, Star Trek got brought back from cancellation by a write-in campaign. I mean, that's how excited people got about the original series. And I think that was a very different thing for them and Shatner. They've gotten along and they've not gotten along at times, but it's that is the one that is what it is. But they were only together for 3 seasons too. So
yeah.
Yeah, for them to spawn like the universe, like when you look at how big the Star Trek pantheon became off of the original series. And when you look at like for them to spawn like a whole universe off of that tiny set of episodes, you know what I'm saying? And it's like for it to be as big as it is, or as big as it's become over the years, is insane.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. It's amazing the show ever got there because they shot the pilot twice. I mean, how many shows get 2 shots at getting the first one right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they hadn't gotten the first shit show right, I wouldn't be here.
Did we get the first shit show right?
Anyone right after that, though?
Actually, the first one that I watched was the second one. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the depending on which one you saw, because like the Sunken Place was actually technically our 3rd episode, because the first episode, the Eminem episode, we completely train wrecked that one. And
we fucked that one up.
Yeah, and then we ended up doing like we were doing a test stream the next day because we were trying to figure out what went so wrong, like because the video was real glitchy, the audio was fucked up, like everything that could go wrong on that first episode did go wrong.
Yeah,
and then we did a test show like the very next day, like an unlisted test show just to see if we could figure out what the problem was. And then the shit was running smooth, and we was like, "Fuck it, let's just and then we just redid the same episode, but we did it in like 90 minutes or like 80 minutes. We just ran the whole episode.
Yeah, and it went through, and it was perfect. And it was go back and watch episode 1.5. That was the episode where we were on the phone after for another hour and a half going, that shit was awesome.
Yeah,
that shit was awesome.
That's funny.
That was the show we wanted the first one to be.
The first episode of the Brett Davern show doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That one actually happened. We recorded it. We did it in
Brett Davern show, Golden Turd nominee. Brett Davern show.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll be very sad to hear they didn't win. We're gonna send them a certificate, though.
Yes. I'm gonna design it.
Participation award.
We're gonna send them a nominee certificate.
They almost won. They almost won second best show on YouTube.
It was close. It was close.
Yeah.
When you don't win a Golden Turd, you just get diarrhea. So that's what we'll be sending them guys. Just sending Brett Davern diarrhea.
And look, watch out, Content Creators Association. You might be in the running for something next year for the 2019 Golden Turd.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, make sure all your actions are turd worthy.
All my actions? I mean,
all of your actions.
Yeah, so beef up on that fiber, man.
I'm going to put that on a plaque. Make sure all your actions are turd worthy, and I will put it right behind it. And then I will look, every time we do a show, I will look at it and be like, am I doing this? So it's turd worthy.
Hannibal, that might be that's a shirt idea. I'm turd worthy.
Yeah.
I think that you should make that your sign off. Like that should be the end of every episode. Make sure
I buy that
and remember,
make sure there you go. And I appreciate the Robocop reference. I like
yes.
So you know what's great about RoboCop, real quick, is in that movie. Everything. That movie is fantastic. You know what I'm saying? But what's great about that movie is in the movie, the city of Detroit went bankrupt, and private companies had come in and saved the economy of that city. You know what I'm saying? And that is literally what is happening to the city of Detroit right now. Like the city went bankrupt, and now private companies are coming in to save it. You know, so we're only a few short years away from ED 209 accidentally murdering people in stairwells. I can't wait.
I put on RoboCop a few days ago, and I thought I was watching the news. So,
yeah.
But we got a new subscriber. Thank you.
There you go.
He also has
Vaporon is here. What's up, dude?
Vaporon. Thank you. Is it Vaporon?
Vapion. I'm from New Orleans. I pronounce shit wrong.
Leonis.
It's all good.
What is this? The content creation avatars?
Yeah.
I pronounced it wrong.
Whatever you want it to be. You got more subscribers, that means you're more right all the time.
No,
that's how it works. Yeah.
no.
I know that's how it works, but that's what
I don't want that.
How dare you?
We're just dudes hanging out on YouTube right now.
I know, right? Oh, dude,
we have to go through our list of upcoming shows and see if there's a show you want to get on our show. Then have you guys come over to our show, and then we can do that. Because I was thinking about, like, because I know we got the Superman show, but we haven't picked a day for it yet. So,
well, we have Chase, formerly from, actually the Superman show is Chase and Daryl. That one might be full. So Chase, formerly from a podcast called 2-in-1 Showcase, that was really awesome. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. Chase is an awesome guy.
All right, we'll do. We'd love to be on your show whenever you guys want. But also
I see Spider-Man behind you, so we might need to get you on a Spider-Man show when when Far From Home comes out.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
That movie comes out like around the 4th of July, though. That's a nice.
Oh no, that's too far.
Yeah, but no, just whenever. Spider-Man. I got that one from the Homecoming movie theater, or when I went to the movie theater to see Homecoming. Just filled his ass full of popcorn. It was a good time.
Oh, hell yeah.
They didn't give me shit when I went. I might have just paid to go see something else and snuck in.
Hannibal, they gave you a fucking movie when you went to see Spider-Man.
Right.
Okay, first off, let's give Monty credit for seeing Spider-Man Homecoming.
Fuck you.
Since Monty doesn't believe in movies, I'm glad you decided to go see one.
How you not see like Shawshank Redemption, Fight Club? How you not see those movies? They're on TV all the time.
Yes. So while we have you here on this channel, on the YouTube Content Creators channel, the YouTube Content Creators Association, and first off, thank you guys for having us on your show. You guys have been incredibly supportive of us. Very early on in our development and growth, and you literally watched it go from being a really bad, a badly produced good show to a mediocrely produced good show. So I appreciate
it. You just offended Ben Collinsworth.
No, it's not you guys. Like, we're still working out like some kinks, because it's like some of it was like video cards.
Hannibal, did you not see the video on this episode? That shit was smooth as fucking butter.
I actually did not see the video on it. I'm gonna have to wait and watch it back. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear how great the intro theme was to the show?
I enjoyed the intro.
Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? And
don't throw that grease out.
Bag of bags.
I'll tell you one thing me and Prometheus have always talked about when we talk about your show is how well you get the audience to participate in your show. Like the audience, like every so often I'll be on my chat and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, hey, what's up, man?" You guys actually give them things to do, which impressed the hell out of me.
Really?
And I
really like that.
I'll be honest. It wasn't intentional on our part. It was just more like we were so happy that, like, in the beginning, all the people that were watching the show just like our friends. So we just wanted to acknowledge them because they were watching the show. And then as we did more shows, and then, like, we did the Geek Room, and then we got some more people, like people from the Geek Room started watching us. And then from the Geek Room, we ended up doing the Alter Perspective into Drunken Peasants. And each time we would do one of these shows, and we would always just engage the chat room, because that's just who me and Monty are. We just like, oh, hey, what's going on? We see you say something, especially when people say something that's funny. I'm like, oh, that was such a good fucking, and I feel like sometimes the comment section is just like, if I was a stand-up comedian and I could just have a live comment section, and while I'm telling my jokes, I would just fucking be the funniest guy on the planet. You guys, like y'all material just be A1. I'd be like, fuck, that's a good observation. So we just
see. My thing has always been just to engage the crowd. Like they are the reason that anything you do becomes what it is because of the people watching. Yeah. So, well, let's engage them and make them part of it.
Let me give you an example of tonight's show. When I told you, when you guys were talking about your first award with the Geek Room, and I said that Beyonce joke, the Kanye West and Beyonce joke, and you guys read it out. It just makes me feel like you guys are paying attention to the chat. And you actually, my cat just destroyed my room, but it makes your viewers feel like that you give an actual.
They're a part of the show.
Yeah, you give them actual. Yes. And, there's other content creators out here that just they don't give a shit. Don't say
the shitheads.
Yeah.
All the shitheads, all the people in that chat, they are the third co-host. It's me, Hannibal, and the shitheads. That's the show.
Yeah.
Whoever's in that box, that's the show.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you too, from a standpoint of just like from where my business, like from the business standpoint of everything, is that's like with the way that they interact is the way that you have to go now if you want to do something as far as a creator, in my opinion. The thing that I see being rejected the most by audiences across the board, and it doesn't matter in what you're talking about, what arena, is being inauthentic.
Yeah.
And Hannibal and Monty are nothing but authentic to the core.
Yeah, and
that resonates, and especially with the way that they then interact with the guests, with the guests, and also the chat.
Yeah, like I'm all about stopping the show because somebody said something, and I'm like, wait, we all missed this guy's point.
Yeah,
bring it back. Let's talk about it.
Like
even if I don't agree with it, it hasn't happened yet, but.
Yeah, well, we had somebody last episode while we were doing the great comic book list. Somebody had asked a question about if we felt like it affected in Avengers Infinity War that they switched Thanos' motivation from like wanting to destroy all life on the galaxy because he was just an evil conqueror that wanted to please Lady Death versus somebody who was doing it because he was like, look, there's not enough resources for all these people, so we got to kill everybody. And he wanted to know what we thought about that. And it was just like, I was like, oh, that's a good point. I never really thought about that because I'm so used to studios and directors and writers taking liberties with comics where they just change details. That I kind of just was like, I didn't think about it. But when he said it, I was like, oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Let's talk about it. And, it's a discussion point. Like I was mad, and I love that show. Of all the shows we've done so far, that's actually my favorite show for very narcissistic reasons. Because I've been wanting to do that show since forever, and that show almost didn't happen because Monty and I literally finished watching those movies like the day of the show, like trying to watch 19 movies at once, and keeping in mind like there was like I want to say 6 of those movies came out in theaters, so the other 13 was like straight to DVD movies, and almost all of those straight to DVD movies it's only like an hour, but like some of those shits, the movies, girls, and the Lego movies, them shits is hard to watch, and it's like, but you power through. And you're like, all right, I got this. I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then you start finding little bright spots in them and shit like that. But anyway, I wasn't trying to do that.
Well, Vapion says, I'm worried about Captain Marvel. None of the stuff showing off has hit with me.
So and just to I'm glad you said that. And to answer Vapion, because I actually have a thought. So I never, just a random fact about Hannibal, I do not watch trailers at all. So when I go into movies, I'm literally going into it completely blind. So when I went into Wonder Woman, when I went into Batman vs. Superman, I didn't know Wonder Woman was in the movie. So it was brand new to me. When I went into Civil War, I did not know Ant-Man or Spider-Man was in the movie. So if the trailers ruined it for you, I didn't see any trails. I purposefully avoided them so I could see the movie completely blind and just enjoy it like from scratch. And that's the only way. Like for me, if you can do it, if you can stomach it, it is the best way to watch it.
Yeah. How do you avoid that? I mean, with all the social media presence and all that.
It's real. It's sort of it's very simple, and this is I don't know if this is going to be the best way to describe it or the worst way to describe it. I used to work at a porn store in New Orleans, right? I used to be the general manager of a chain of porn stores, and like right at the front of the store, we had like a Jenna Jameson section, and then right next to the Jenna Jameson section was the fucking tranny porn. And you know what you do? You just don't look at it. You just walk right past it. And that's it. And that's it. It's the same thing. Like it's like if you're driving on.
That's not shaming anybody.
Yeah, it's not what you do. You know what I'm saying?
What you do.
If you like
that's not your thing.
If you like guys with titties, that's fine. No big deal. You know, some people like that shit. I know I can name at least one congressman and a professional wrestler who loves tranny porn. You know what I'm saying? So, no big deal.
Yeah, all right. So Hannibal's advice to everyone that wants to avoid trailers: think of tranny porn.
I kind of feel like you killed his argument there.
But it's the equivalent of if you're driving on the interstate and you see a car accident, you know what I'm saying, and everybody's complaining about the traffic, and then they get to the accident and then they look at the accident and then it causes more traffic. All you got to do is not look at the fucking accident, just drive past it, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know how easy it is to not look at some shit on the internet? I not look at shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? People that read Breitbart and Fox News, they don't go to CNN. It's not like they had to be like, oh man, I was on my social media, CNN kept popping up. No, man, you just don't. You just go past it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it actually makes like especially for somebody like me who likes to watch like I never watch any TV show live while it's on. I'll wait till the season finishes and then I'll binge the whole season all at once. So with certain shows like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, people can't help but talk about who died on it's like there's people that I think they just get off on getting online and being like, oh, guess who died on Empire this week? Like, come on, man, chill the fuck out with this. Stop being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So
have you seen Punisher? Have you seen Punisher season 2 yet?
I have not, and I'm so far behind on the Netflix Marvel show.
I haven't either.
I am halfway through Punisher season 1, so I still got Luke Cage 2, Jessica Jones 2. I still got a bunch of shit to play catch up on that.
Oh, yeah.
But Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, Daredevil season 3 is definitely worth it.
Yeah. As far as Vaporeon's question, though, don't worry about Marvel. Don't worry about Captain Marvel. They're holding a lot back on that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot being held back on that one. And I can also say that I know, like, although that's a funny sub note. I have another story about another comic book movie, but at the same time, with Captain Marvel, which actually did shoot a little bit in Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's actually how I know this. Yeah. Is that from my sources? Oh, it's gonna be good.
That was it.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. Oh, the other one. Well, the other one is that Dark Phoenix finished reshoots a week and a half ago.
Okay. That's one. That's not one that I'm looking for, and I'm a huge fan of the XMen franchise. But the XMen franchise is not a great franchise right now. Like it's like half the movies are good, half the movies are bad, and there's not a lot of wiggle room in between. You know what I'm saying? So it's I feel like they always building towards something. Like X-Men First Class was good, then Days of Future Past was really good, and then Apocalypse was like, what happened? Like you guys had it, and there's nobody to blame for that one. Like Bryan Singer, like the studio gave him a lot of flexibility, and he still just was like, that scene where Angel becomes Archangel is one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in like a $200 million comic book film. Like that shit was just like, y'all spent a lot of money on this. A lot of people saw this and y'all was like, yeah, this is good. This is fine. I was like, no, this is not. Like this, there's this cheesy 80s metal music in the background and shit, you know, while he's getting his metal wings because they wanted to show like, oh, metal music and metal wings. I was like, Brian, come on, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Bryan Singer's problems are becoming more problems for the X-Men franchise, and that's why he needs to go. And I always wanted them to do a send-off with like changing the whole thing over by killing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and like doing like I forget which one it is, but there's like one comic that I remember, like he's like there's another mutant that's got like a nuclear blast power, and it strips him down to the adamantium, and then he grows back.
Okay.
I would say do that and regenerate him like the Doctor in Doctor Who, and then you have your new Wolverine actor.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. That would I got you.
What do y'all think about the rumors of Wolverine being in Endgame?
I like it.
I like it.
I'm gonna do one better than that. I love it. I think
it's entirely possible, and the only way that Hugh Jackman said he'd ever do it again.
Yeah, I believe it.
I've heard there are a lot of actors, a lot of the actors like Chris Evans and Chris Helm, the Chris's, you know, all just like, come on, Hugh.
The Marvel Chris's. The Marvel Chris's.
The Marvel. We don't count Chris Pine. Okay,
nope.
We don't.
No. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, no. Yeah. Who has he been?
He was in Wonder Woman, which you haven't seen.
No, I haven't seen Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I don't blame you for
not seeing it.
It was all right, but I don't blame you for not seeing it.
It's overrated.
It's all right, it's all right.
I thought it was appropriately rated. See, y'all thought let's talk about this for a second. So y'all thought Wonder Woman was overrated.
Yeah,
well, I haven't seen it.
I do.
I still haven't seen it.
You know, I kind of thought the ending was kind of just a little too CG for me.
Yeah, no,
you don't get points for repackaging Captain America: First Avenger and putting it in World War One. No,
it was in World War II. It's different.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you don't get points for putting it in the war that no one gives a shit about.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Okay. I'm not. You're not wrong because it is.
Can any of y'all
it is
even
a
tell
lot
me how
like
World War One started?
Archduke.
They killed he beat me to it. Damn it! Fuck. If this was Jeopardy, I fucking lost that one. But I knew the answer. I just didn't hit the buzzer fast enough.
Exactly. That's how fucking stupid that war. The reason that war started is as fucking stupid as the concept of what they built Wonder Woman around.
Yeah, World War II was pretty stupid too.
I thought Wonder Woman was a good ass movie. I thought it was so. I think to date, of all the new DCEU films, it is the top of the food chain right now.
But yeah,
when you set the bar that low,
yeah,
you set the bar that low.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a bad movie. I thought it was a really good movie. You know, I thought it was I think there are moments and there are scenes in that movie where it gets really, really good. And I think for me, the worst part of the movie is the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie. Like I felt like they did a really good job building up to a certain point. And in that last 15, 20 minutes of the movie, they really just the train came off the tracks and just killed a bunch of people and shit that.
Let me you can't, like, if you're gonna have the train go off the tracks, it can't be at the end of the movie.
Exactly.
That's what happened with Glass. I love Glass all the way up to like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers.
Well, I'm not spoiling. I'm just telling you. I loved it all the way up to the last 20 minutes. You cannot have the train go, because at least you can put the train back on the tracks and then you can enjoy the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. You take the train off the tracks at the end of the movie, I'm just gonna walk out of the theater going, "What the fuck?"
And see, here's the thing. This is actually how I describe most media stuff. Is it's not a train going off the tracks. It's a plane. because in everything that you make, it's got to do two things. It's got to take off well and hold your audience, and then you've got to land it and make them satisfied. And instead, they sort of took off, bounced on the road a whole lot, and then went into a gas pylon, a gas station at the end of it, and just blew the whole thing up.
Exactly.
All right.
I have mixed feelings about your metaphor because I like the metaphor, and it's damn it. You know what? I'm not even prepared to disagree with you right now.
Welcome to being friends with Ben Collinsworth.
Right. What was the Golden Turd thing we said we wanted to put on a T-shirt? Does anybody remember?
It was make sure what you are doing is turd worthy.
Yeah. Make sure it's turd worthy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make that a plaque.
Yes.
Unless you guys make it a plaque first, and I can buy it off you and help your show. Then you can do that.
There we go. Yeah, Monty could make it.
Yeah, Monty.
Yeah, he could absolutely make it. And we don't show off enough of Monty's art, and Monty is
We're working on that.
I'm getting to there. I'm getting to that point. Yeah, I've been focused on let's show off what Hannibal does. And tonight we showed off a mild bit of my influence on some of that, but that was still all Hannibal.
Oh, Hannibal
and the mongoose.
I don't know. I mean, you guys just seem to work really well together, and you guys bounce off each other so well. It's kind of weird, because it's like if I come into your house and just like start watching you have a regular conversation. That's how it feels like when I'm watching your show. It's just I'm just watching a normal everyday conversation, of two people just talking, and it's kind of entertaining. Feels a little bit creepy, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny for me because I have never met Hannibal, so he is still this abstract internet person.
who Collinsworth has never seen Hannibal unmasked.
Yeah, nobody. Literally in the last 11 years, it's something like 5 or 6 people have seen my face. So
sorry, I've never seen Prometheus's face. Well, I have once. I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Hannibal's face multiple times. I will never describe it to anyone or tell them.
Wait, I have a guess. Black.
He is black.
That's not true.
Right. But see, if you just saw me getting pulled over by the cops, you just know that's a good guess. And that doesn't mean
yeah. And look, I'm so unaccustomed to it. I'm one of the few. He hung out with me. What was it? 2-3 years ago? We were sitting in my studio at the house I lived in at the time, and he was unmasked the whole time. We were watching Lost, and this rapper came by to check out some beats from him, and he's like, "All right, let me get my mask together." I'm like, "Why are you flipping out about this? It's just this guy." He's like, "Nope, this is how it is."
Yeah, it's super weird for people that even my production partners who I've been doing music with for 20 years. Even whenever I go back to New Orleans and we meet people, I was at a restaurant one time in Kenner, and they would have these on Tuesdays they would have these really cheap steaks where you can get a sirloin for $7 or something. I'll just go get 3 of them shits, right? This is eat no more because fucking hate life and I'm fucking terrorist. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm not really Crazy Johnny's, are you?
No, it's called the Lakeshore Tavern or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Crazy Johnny's ain't there no more.
No,
yeah.
But I know that place.
Yeah, so we were there, me and Shayla were there and we're eating because I'm in New Orleans, and it's right down the street from where the studio is in New Orleans, and it's and whenever I'm in New Orleans, I'll literally just sleep at the studio. I won't even go anywhere else. So I'm at this place. It's right down the street from the studio. We're eating the steak, and I guess there was a rapper there that we had worked with before, and I had never met him because he would always work with my production partners, Ace and Johnny Brasco, who live in New Orleans. So he was like, "Oh man, I'm in this restaurant," and he's like, "Oh yeah, Hannibal's there now. You should holler at him." And so the dude's in the restaurant looking for me, and he's never seen my face, so he doesn't know who I am in the place. So he's like just going around to each table and he's trying to look at everybody's eyebrows and shit, trying to figure out which one I am. And I was like, when I realized who he was, I was like, no, my production partner texted me. He was like, "Oh, B Price is there. He's looking for you." And I was like, "Why'd y'all tell him I was here? Y'all know I'm out in public. I got my fucking mask with me right now." You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
And it's weird because in Atlanta, I can just call it because people, as I've been doing it for so long, and I've been in Atlanta for 13 years. I've been wearing a mask for 11. So whenever I go places, I can just call ahead and say, "Hey, this is so and so. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be wearing this mask. Is it cool? Is it not? Whatever." And most of the time they'll be like, "Yeah, it's fine. Just don't wear nothing too crazy because it's this, that." You know what I'm saying? But it was like in New Orleans, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it was weird. But they're like, "Yeah, it's like, look, if you ever meet me, I will definitely have a mask on. We could meet at the fucking airport, and I'm gonna have on a mask."
Yeah, you gotta love anonymity.
Yeah,
Yes.
It provides certain things. Like I've had meetings with rappers and singers and record label people and shit like that. And then oh, hold on a second. Vapion is it? Where should I DM you? Can you DM me on YouTube? Question mark.
I think he's watching the show, Hannibal. You might be able to just tell him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna just give him my email, put it in the chat.
Nah, you don't have to do that now.
I ain't worried about it. Yeah,
all right.
I get another email.
I got you. You don't get so much spam.
It's not like emails is expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're free. You can get another one right away.
You know what I'm saying? What you mean? While we was talking, I went and got 4 more emails. What you talking about? Well, good.
You don't forget all your password to every one of them too.
Yeah, listen. I keep a file that has all my passwords to every site. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then I keep another file with just new passwords I come up with on a daily basis. My passwords be so great. It'd be like my password strength. It goes from like when you put your password in, it'd be like the password strength. It'll go from poor to okay to strong.
Yeah.
To a tiny incredible Hulk pops on screen. That's how strong my password is. This shit's
amazing. Strong password game.
This shit is fantastic. Unhackable ass password. That shit's crazy. Anybody hack my
I've taken a hacking class, and I can guarantee you, they can get your password like that. No problem.
Look at that. Why you want to fill me with this angst and woe, okay?
I'm not gonna fucking blow sunshine.
That's his style.
Ain't happening. I'm not gonna blow sunshine up your ass. I love you too much, Hannibal. I would not do that to you.
I appreciate that. So let me ask you guys.
But he's absolutely right. Everything is completely hackable. As soon as you put it anywhere close to the internet, it's over.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question about the comic books right now. How do you guys? What's your opinion on? I'm just asking a couple questions. So I'm curious. Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. Does that bother you? Do you not give a shit?
No, it doesn't really affect me in one way or another because you're never gonna find out how much better it can be if you just stay with the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Henry Cavill, I thought he's Superman. I'm not gonna shed no tears over him going, but we could get something better. We could get something where it's just the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of liked Henry Cavill. I mean, I liked him better than Brandon Routh.
Oh yeah.
Well, everybody liked everybody more than Brandon Routh. I think if you took all the Supermen, including the voice actors, and he would be at the very bottom.
Christopher Reeves now plays a better Superman.
Speaking of movies that Bryan Singer's problems make worse. That one.
You know, I'm gonna save that because I am one of the few people that does not hate Superman Returns. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm saying I don't hate it the way everybody else hates it.
That movie has the rare distinction for not only being shitty by itself, it managed to make another movie shitty at the same time.
Damn.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious and accurate.
That movie fucks up the third X-Men movie.
Yeah, but that's like me saying because I broke up with my girlfriend at midnight and then she left and then after our breakup she got raped, that it was my fault she got raped. It was like, no, man. Like, you know, at some point you got to take personal responsibility for that shit.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Brett Ratner got something to do with that shit. Fucking Fox. Look, Fox saw the movie and was like, yup, let's put this out.
No, you misunderstand. I'm actually specifically talking about Marsden and how Cyclops goes down. That's all because of him going to Superman. Like, Cyclops wasn't going to die in that movie until he went to Superman.
Is that why Marsden? Is that why James Marsden is in Superman Returns? Because of Bryan Singer?
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
Wow. As a random sidebar, for there was like a stretch of like movies for like 10 years where every movie James Marsden was in, he got cheated on by somebody else. Like he got cheated on, like his like Jean Grey cheated on him with Logan. Well, she made out with Logan in the X-Men movie, so you know he lost his bitch there. Fucking in Superman Returns, he lost his bitch to Superman. Fucking in what's that movie that bitches love? The Notebook. Fucking, you know, he lost his bitch to Ryan Gosling. To be fair, everybody's losing their bitches to Ryan Gosling, but still, that's not the point. And there was this Disney movie called, I want to say it was called Enchanted, and he lost his bitch to somebody in that shit too. I want to say Pat somebody. So it was like a stretch of movies there where it was like James Marsden was like this good-looking guy that just always got cheated on. And I'm pretty sure he lost his bitch in Westworld too. So
oh no. He doesn't. Well, yeah, but not the same way.
Okay. All right. I'm about to say I haven't seen season 2, so don't spoil it.
I realized you hadn't seen it, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but no.
Yeah. We'll just go with
where was I going with that? Oh yeah, speaking of Ryan Gosling, when I was in Wakanda, I saw Ryan Gosling.
Wait, Ryan Gosling was in Wakanda?
Yeah, because Wakanda was next door to the shoot for First Man, and so he was coming in for First Man.
Ah, gotcha.
And
I was just about to say, this dude been to the moon and Wakanda. He been everywhere.
As I was getting background people in, he came in the same door. I really wanted to give him extras paperwork and just act like I didn't know who he was. But then he came in with like 3 other people, and I was like, I'm never going to get away with it. All right.
I was going to say, why didn't you? But
I really wanted to. Then there was like 2 other people. I was like, damn. All right.
That's awesome.
Vapion, wait 1 second. I'm about to send you the link so you can check out those movies. Just give me 1 second as soon as I figure out how to work this Google Drive.
So what comics have you guys been reading lately? I know I've been reading Doomsday Clock. I enjoy it, but what comic books have you guys been reading lately?
The last comic I read was, matter of fact, I actually have it here. Hold on. Hold on, it's somewhere around here. God damn it.
Anyway, he's looking. I've been too busy.
Give me
lately. But one that I want to read, as I saw the second trade of it at a store, was the I think it's called Rebellion, but it's like a graphic novel based on the Revolutionary War.
All right.
And I'm interested to try to find and check that out. I'm also interested in I picked up one at Wizard World that's a graphic novel that came with a CD, and it's about like the first guy who like sells his soul to the devil for a guitar type thing. I forget what his name is.
All right.
But I met the artists there that were for that, so I'm looking to read that one. And then there's one more historical type thing that I saw the other day, and I'm trying to get it, and I don't remember what it was. But
Last thing I picked up was Batman Metal, and
I love Batman Metal. That shit's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking badass. That was the last thing I picked up. And funny thing with me is I worked at a comic shop for a while, and
that's how we met.
Yeah, that's how I met Ben Collinsworth, because I was the guy that sold you your books, and Ben was one of the guys that would come in, pick up his books, and not leave till I fucking closed the store.
I had a friend like that, but at the porn store. It was very weird, but he was a good friend.
No, it wasn't weird when Ben showed up. I enjoyed it.
Section?
No, he would just come hang out in the store. He would come in around like 2 o'clock in the morning and would leave till like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
and me and him would just talk about like old school hip hop. It was super weird.
Yep. Yeah. Same with Ben. Like, except replace porn with comics.
Yeah.
Because he come in.
Pop culture in general.
Yeah, and he kind of step aside when customers would come in, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna wait for you to finish this," and then we'll just get back to whatever we were talking about.
There was a stool right by the checkout. And so there were certain times where I would go in there and I'd be in between gigs and stuff. And so then I would just be sitting. I would like sit on the stool when I would go pick up books for hours.
Yeah. He watched me get pissed off at stupid shit people were doing. I'm like, oh, why? Why? Just leave.
This was when I was working on Steven Seagal Lawman. Because I could read. I was just in the office and I would transpose the tapes for the APs to watch the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I would just sit and read the books while I'm watching Steven Seagal and JPSO profile people on the West Bank.
Yeah. This is around the time I met the guy that was almost Jon Stewart in the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie.
Oh, you talking about the black dude from Battle Los Angeles?
No, yeah, Nick Jones.
I think I know. I'm positive I know who this is.
That's not the black dude from Battle Los Angeles. I know all the black dudes from Battle Los Angeles.
No. I don't want to talk too much shit about Nick Jones until he's on our show. He will be on our show. I talk shit to Nick Jones to his face. So I can talk shit here.
You can talk shit anywhere, I'm sure.
No, I know all those. I know all those Battle Los Angeles dudes. I was there that whole fucking time.
He wasn't in that, but Nick Jones was almost Jon Stewart. Like my favorite story about how I met him was similar to how I met Ben. But
I'm googling him right now to see if I know who he is.
Yeah. You might not. You probably don't. And Nick, if you're watching, deal with this shit.
Well, I just don't know who he is yet. That's all.
Yeah. But no, Nick he showed up at the comic shop I was at, and he walked in and he's like, I'm looking for Green Lantern books. I'm like, all right. So I take him to the graphic novels because I'm not a big Green Lantern fan. And I'm looking around and I'm still not a big Green Lantern fan. But I'm showing him stuff. I'm like, I don't know what to recommend to you. And
he's an uncredited Marine in Battle Los Angeles.
Oh, all right. Then that is the guy. All right.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Then he wasn't really in Battle Los Angeles. He was there.
Listen. If I'm in a movie. If I'm in a movie and I hold the door for Sandra Bullock and she walks through the door, I'm telling everybody I was in a movie with Sandra Bullock. All right? Fuck what you say. Fuck what you talking about. All right? I was in the movie, and look, I'm gonna have everybody in my motherfucking family be in the theater, and they're gonna be dressed up in African garb like we in fucking Black Panther. They're gonna be celebrating and shit and everything. It's gonna be fantastic.
True. But yeah, Nick shows up and I'm like, I don't know any Green Lantern. I'm not a big fan. And he's my favorite Green Lantern is Kilowog.
Mhm.
That's the level I am of Green Lantern fan. I love Kilowog.
I was laughing just because everybody loves Kilowog.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's who I like, and I told him that
he's the Lieutenant Commander Worf of the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, and Nick goes when I met him, he's like, "But I'm looking for more." And when this dude shows up, he is in full uniform. Marine uniform, so like not fake.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, all right, this dude's a Marine. All right. So, and the next thing he says is, I'm looking for some John Stewart stuff. I'm like, oh, that's who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a John Stewart fanboy who's actually a Marine, because you can't fake this shit. Like, it's not fake shit that he's wearing. He's wearing his real stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever. All right, let's go. So I'm like, Kilowog's all I got. And I'm like, John Stewart? and I go, John Stewart's probably, and I hate to say it, and I told him like this, I hate to say it, he's probably my least favorite of the Green Lanterns, because I find John Stewart boring.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things is like, don't make the black character black for no reason. Make him good first. And then go, you know what? It'd be awesome if this guy was black.
Yeah.
Then we got an awesome black character.
Yeah. But some black guys are boring, though. You know what I'm saying? I know lots of boring black dudes. As a matter of fact, I know a bunch of boring black Marines, as a matter of fact.
John Stewart is a boring black Marine.
Yeah. They all vote Republican, though. So I don't really
I know a few from the Army.
Yeah. So he shows up and he's like, John Stewart. I'm like, John Stewart sucks. I don't like him. Kilowog's my favorite. Then he decides to drop the bombshell on me that, I'm going to be John Stewart in the Green Lantern movie. I'm like, that's where you fucked up, but I still love you. But because he just presumed that he was automatically in the movie from there on. Because he was there for that reason, to be John Stewart in the Green Lantern movie. But I'm like, oh shit. But the way he told me was, he's like, you got a computer here with internet? And I'm like, yeah, I do. So I walk over and he goes, look up Nick Jones, John Stewart.
Hold on, what other kind of computer is it right now?
It's like, look up.
You have a computer with the internet? I was like, the internet?
Well, it's because I'm in a store. And he goes, look up Nick Jones, John Stewart. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm about to see this dude's fanboy site because he's a Marine and asking me to look up John Stewart.
Fan fiction.
And I saw the first link was this random blog saying Nick Jones is going to be John Stewart. And like, oh, shit. Look at this. Because I knew they were filming it here, or parts of it.
No, they did all of it.
All of it? All right.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know what they were filming here, but I knew they were filming here, and I was like, oh, shit, look at this. It's John Stewart. And I look at him, I go, I still don't like John Stewart. And from that moment, he seemed so...
Oh, he dropped.
Oh, no, Hannibal.
Oh, I'm such a fan. I didn't change, and we just became friends after. I'm still friends with Nick. Nick's awesome. And I'll tell him what he's doing is bullshit whenever he's doing bullshit, because I don't play into the bullshit. Be on the show soon.
Funny thing about the Green Lantern movie, there's a better ending that no one will ever see. That was shot. It's in the can.
Really? Good comics, Will.
There's a whole fight sequence between Green Lantern and Sinestro.
Oh, what? That's what?
That was shot. It was shot. It was in the can. I know for a fact because I know people who were there when it happened. And
fuck. Who was Sinestro?
Mark Strong, was it?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, that dude. It was done. It was in the can. It was shot, and they decided to put it to scrap it and save it for the next movie. Yep, that worked.
Oh, that's fucking.
It was shot though. It was shot here in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Him, people over there, they're like, "Oh, dude, it was this really great fight." It was gonna be like the different end of the movie because like it was gonna be that like the poo cloud was gonna be a mini boss, and then you were gonna find out that he had to go fight Sinestro.
Oh wow!
They cut that whole back part off the movie and just left the poo cloud.
That would have made that movie from an F to like a C.
Yeah, but the movie was.
That might have made that movie good enough by landing the plane to get a second one.
I have never hated Hollywood more than I hate them this moment.
Wow.
I didn't think Green Lantern was an F. I thought it was a C. I thought it was a forgettable, like you watch it once and then you don't remember you saw it ever again after you watched it movie.
That's I have higher expectations.
I'm giving it a D right now.
Yeah.
Giving it a D. All right, when we get to Green Lantern, you can and I bet you if you rewatch it, because I've seen the movie a few times. Like for me, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a superhero TV show that Michael Chiklis was on that came on ABC. And
yeah, it was a good show.
I don't remember what the show was, but I remember watching Green Lantern thinking to myself that movie was a lot like, because I remember that show was like a fake heroes. I'm just thinking, I was like, yeah, this movie, fake heroes show that comes on ABC. And then I think the guy who directed it also worked on that show. He was like the showrunner or something. And I was like, okay, I get this. And then the CGI was terrible. You know, it wasn't good. Ryan Reynolds wasn't the guy to play Hal Jordan. And I get why they chose him, but Nathan Fillion is the only actor I want to see play Green Lantern. If you don't pick Nathan Fillion, he's the only person I want to see.
That's
play
actually a good one.
Fillion would have worked there. I don't think it was Ryan's fault. I actually think it was the director's fault. And I say that from talking to people who were like, the director didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah,
I see. I mean, it was written all over that movie.
Yeah.
Although I heard it was a great show to work on because they had more money than God.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm probably, because you guys have a really long show you guys just got done with, and I really appreciate you guys showing up. I just wanted to wonder, do you guys want to keep this going, or you guys want to probably stop at the top of the hour?
I know I definitely need to cut out because I got to get up like super early in the morning.
All right,
you know, I never.
Yeah, I didn't want you guys too long. I know. I mean, it's like midnight here, and you guys are like.
It's like 2.
You guys are Central, and he's Eastern.
Yeah, I'm Eastern time, so it's about to be 3 for me.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just let you guys go. But dude, I appreciate you guys so much for showing up on our show.
Thanks for hosting the first annual shit show Golden Turd Awards after show.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I hope we can make this a regular thing. You know what I'm saying?
We would love for you guys to come on our show, and then we would love to do whatever you guys need us to do.
Yeah.
You know,
what we'll do is we'll go through our upcoming shows, and then you can let us know if there's a particular episode that you feel like, you know, it's like, yeah, we'd like to get on this one and then have you guys on it.
Yeah, I'll talk to Previous, and we'll pick out a show and we'll ask.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Right.
Awesome.
Lord knows we got enough shows coming up.
Right.
In February, we got, like I said, we got the what's after the Torture, the Nickelback episode. After that is what?
Medea or Tyler Perry.
No, that's not the next. That's the last episode of February. What's the next?
I thought you were talking about what Torture show is coming next.
No, what's the next episode after Nickelback?
Oh, the Sunken Place.
Oh, yes. Right, Sunken Place and the Mayonnaise Devils. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that one's gonna get kind of heavy.
Yeah, that show isn't the Sunken Place episode. We basically just talk about black people that just disappoint us, and the Mayonnaise Devils is white people that call the cops on black people for just doing regular shit. Like, oh yeah, you babysitting? I'm calling the police. So,
I think that one might be more appropriate for me to be on.
The whole episode, you just sit there and you're just on camera. You don't say anything.
You should, or sit on the camera on the phone. Like, yeah, I'm on.
No, the thing is, the problem is, I will say something.
Yes.
And it's coming from a good place. It's coming from the heart because I respect you guys. I went shit you guys.
We won't block you like Atheist Girl. You can say what you feel with us. If we don't agree, we'll still be friends.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time,
that whole episode.
I'll be on that show. I'll be whatever show you want me on. We'll talk about black issues, white issues, Asian issues, polka dot issues.
But no, you can come on that show and sit on the phone the whole time and never interact with us. Be like, yeah, I'm on the show. They're talking to me now. They keep saying something.
Like every
one of them's in a mask.
I'll just whisper in my hand, why am I here?
Yeah, they just asked me a question. Can you stop them?
I'm like, go away.
Hannibal, we might need a random guy in a box calling the cops on us for that episode. I don't want to do that to you because it might fuck with your show.
Police? I got me a black man here. Yeah.
Yes. And always leave the mic hot on that white person, just on the phone. And we try to talk to them, and they don't respond. They're talking to me now.
I'll get a pair of sunglasses just for that.
Monty and I were talking about
that's on the phone for the whole episode. Yeah, just like trying to call the cops the whole time.
Yeah,
yes.
They're talking to me now. But yeah.
But like Monty and I were talking about this because I had to work. I had to go pop in at work for a little bit today, and while I was on my way to work, we noticed that the majority of our fan base is white guys, and we want people to know that it's like, look, if we're your only exposure to black people, we want you to know that it's like all black, like. There's a weird stereotype about black people being like certain things. It was like, nah, man, we're into a lot of the same shit that everybody else is into. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can love rap music and Star Trek at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
No, you fucking can't. Don't lie to me. Yeah. Don't you lie to me. Bullshit.
And I'll talk to people sometimes, like my coworkers and shit, and they'll be like, we'll be talking about just random shit and just different subjects, and I'll deep dive into all kinds of things, and then they'll be like, "Wow, man, I never met a guy like you that was into this, and that." And what they're saying is, I've never met a black guy like you that was into this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's just because you don't know enough black people. You know what I'm saying? Because I know plenty people like me. You know what I'm saying? We out here. You know what I'm saying? I know people that we want to kind of give people that representation is important. It's just like, like, look, so you can talk to me, we can engage, we can talk about things. I'm not gonna always agree with things that you agree with. You're not gonna always agree about things that I agree with. Like, you just even something as simple as like when we did the chat the other day, we all gave Black Panther A+, and then the comment section was like, nah, it was like B minus, shit like that. That shit had me feeling like, man, maybe I'd seen a different movie.
Add on to that, it's not really about race. I notice most of the time, it's about region or where you're from. A lot of the time, that's usually the bigger divide.
Yeah,
like you're in Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
I'm in California.
What part of Cali you in?
You know where Palm Springs is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I drove through Palm Springs.
Well, I'm sorry. I know that movies have referenced Palm Springs. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, it's about an hour and a half away from Los Angeles.
Okay.
So
yeah.
But like Southern California is different. Is vastly different because like I said, I was in the Army. So when I joined the Army and I had friends who were from the South, who were from Texas, who were from California, who were from the North, Midwest, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They all have different vocabularies. They all have different experiences, and and it's really weird when you get them together. But somehow it just kind of works. But at the same time, you have to learn that vocabulary with them. Because I didn't know what a fucking Waffle House was until I left basic training. And that was the first time I ever seen a fucking Waffle House.
Look, listen, I didn't know what the fuck Waffle House was till I moved to Georgia. And then them shits is like every 5 feet.
Oh, yeah, they're all over Georgia.
Look, I'll bring that.
I've never been to In-N-Out Burger, but you got to go to fucking In-N-Out Burger if you get a chance.
I'll bring that shit around in a totally different way. My brother is so, like, he doesn't hang out with white people at all. Like, he's always, like, the Mexicans he picks up to cut grass with him, and the crackhead around the corner standing in front of the convenience store. That's who he hangs out with.
Yeah.
And he was telling me stories about him hanging out with his white friends. And he's like, this dude telling him, oh, we're going to go out. You want to come hang out with us? We're all going to get shit-faced. He decided to decline that invitation because he didn't understand what the term shit-faced meant. He's like, I don't want to get shit-faced. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
What sort of weird white person shit where they put shit on their face?
Yeah, like, I don't want to get shit-faced. What are we talking about? And then he found out, oh, we're going to drink a lot? Oh, I'd have totally come to that.
So
I'm not getting shit-faced.
So you got to ask.
Yeah.
And
I know
that's
exactly
the
what
good
you're
thing
saying,
about like Monty and I, like, 'cause we've both walked this very fine line in our lives where when you look at our friendship circles, it's very open. Like we talk to different people from walks of life, and we learn about the more people you know, you start to absorb their experiences and their cultures and stuff like that. You become more open-minded and understanding and shit like that. So it's just, you know, you see, like, and certain people, especially when you grow up in bigger areas, in like larger cities that have like those wide growths. Like, and New Orleans is a very cultural city. Like there's like a little bit of everything all over the place all the time, and we all speak the same broken English. It's amazing. It's like we all say Burgundy instead of Burgundy. It's so weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like you just
wait. There's another way to say it.
Yeah, they say Burgundy in every other place in the world.
Yeah, it's Calliope, not Calliope. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're saying all kinds.
Fuck
of
you, it's Calliope.
Leonidas. I live down on Leonidas.
But right, isn't that Leonidas? Now that I was thinking about it,
it's that guy from 300.
Oh, it's Leonidas. It's Leonidas.
We say Leonidas. But it's
there's an eye on the street sign too, but everybody just forgets it. Just doesn't.
Fuck that eye. Fuck that eye.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think it's important that, you know, that our audience sees that, like, you know, there are, you know, we are, you know, two black people. We are two people of color. You know, we're educated, we're intelligent, we have a good time, we're nerds. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be confined to just one box, because I don't think anybody, even the people that I despise with my whole heart, they don't fall in one box. And the sooner you appreciate, like, we kind of making people appreciate that about us and our content, you know. So that's why the Sunken Place episode week after next, you know, the Mayonnaise Devils is an important episode for us, because it's like, you know, we want people to know, like, look, you know, this shit happens to us, you know what I'm saying? And in the following week, we can talk about, you know, we can rank all the Star Trek captains from best to worst and best. And Ben Collinsworth, you apparently weren't invited to be a part of that.
I know that.
You're welcome to be a part of it, Ben.
Like, that's actually one of the, like, but like the Sunken Place, the first Sunken Place episode is actually something that drew me to the show, because one of the things that, like, the Alliance is trying to do overall is just trying to find real stories and truth out there and authentic content. And like I touched on before, and the two of them are so much, and even more so in a way that's very New Orleans, that's very open, that's very interactive, because it's one of the things that I think we have in our country in general, these 2 points on opposite ends of it that put out everything that everyone else sees.
Yeah.
And I think that some of what we really saw in 2016 is how much of a problem that is when there's only 2 cities out of the entirety of this country that get to control the national conversation.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're doing from this little outpost is trying to stake a flag in that conversation, because, like, let's face it, the majority of the African American people in this country live in the South.
Yeah.
There's very real and obvious reasons for that we don't need to talk about. But you know, it is what it is. And like that's the thing.
I tell it to people all the time too. It's funny.
You know, and like here in New Orleans, literally you live next door to everything, and especially after Katrina, for us here, like we have such a huge Hispanic influx too, that it's like you go to Kenner now, where he was talking about where the steakhouse is. You can find Mexican that's just as good as Mexican food that you can find that's just as good and just as authentic as what you can find in California.
Yeah.
And that's a very different thing. And New Orleans has always been a place that has brought in culture and said, you know, come in and join us. Like, come hop in the party. Like that's what that's what we've got. And you can see it. I mean, you can go into the cemeteries here, and as I go down my deep professing love of New Orleans, and you can see where it goes from Old French to Old Spanish, back to Old French, and then some English names when the really white people got here.
That's our city.
Yeah, that's the city. So, and it's so weird how, like, when you're in New Orleans, how open-minded and progressive it is, and because Atlanta's the same way. And then the further out you go from the city, the less it starts to become.
The more you hear dueling banjos.
Yeah, exactly. The more it becomes very deliverance very fast the further you get.
Yeah. So, you get on the other side of that lake, and it's deliverance with money. And you get a little bit further, and it's just deliverance.
Yeah.
So
you know, we want to and then on our last show when we did Monty and the Mongooses little show, we never went political ever. And it was one of those things that Monty and I would like have these side conversations about, and we would be like, we didn't talk about it because with the Mongoose, if you start going political, it's just gonna be like
the Mongoose is far right. Like one of the jokes Hannibal made, and look, Mongoose, if you see this is the truth. You and Ben Collinsworth are the bizarro versions of each other.
Yeah, y'all are the bizarro.
And I've noticed that because of how close how good of friends I've become with Ben Collinsworth. I'm like, this is the same friendship I have with Matt, except he actually agrees with me politically.
Yeah.
Even though he's way further than me. And I'm like, not that far.
Yeah.
Oh, me?
Same with Matt. Yeah, you.
Oh.
But Matt is not that far the other way. So
yeah.
I didn't think I was that far from you. That's interesting now.
No, you're pretty close to me, but we'll talk about it. Like it's not that far that I'm like, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, but no,
I know that.
No, you guys are like, you and the Mongoose are like opposite ends of the spectrum, and it's not, and it's interesting.
That's really funny because, like, that's the thing is, like, I think that y'all may have a misconception about that because to me right now, as like just to frame this, to me right now,
we should probably talk about this when we're not on their show that they're trying to wrap up.
To me right now, it's a hostile takeover, and it's not even a regular government, but that's different.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna give the chat a second, real quick. Patreon said I gotta start a successful YouTube channel, then I can be a guest on a comic episode. Dude, you don't have to be on a successful YouTube channel to be on here. We accept all comers as long as you ain't trolls, and we got enough time to verify who you are.
To vet you.
Yeah, to vet you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be on a show, just ask. And that goes for anyone in the chat.
Yeah, they let us on, baby, on.
I know, right? And I know what they're capable of.
Look, Vivian, you want on the shit show? We can let you on. You got a wrench.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You know, we're not.
I don't even have a wrench.
You don't? I thought we gave you one.
No, I don't think so. But that's fine. I don't need it.
No,
all right. Next time I see you in the chat.
Do I get paid?
No.
I don't care.
We gotta make sure we get paid first. one fight at a time.
You know, it's like my first sergeant asked me. He's like, "You want to go expert infantry badge?" I was like, "Do I get paid more?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "No, no."
Nah, I'm good.
I will take more responsibility as long as it matches the pay rate. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
It's definitely got to match that. But yeah, I'm definitely glad you guys had us on. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the first ever
We loved it, dude. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Turd Awards. Like I said, we had a lot of fun doing that shit.
Next year, that turd is gonna fly around the screen even more. Get ready.
It's gonna be like Mr. Hanky. It's gonna be little shit stains everywhere. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you saw that porta potty at the end? The turd's gonna do that shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic.
I mean, the whole show is actually going to get better once 5H1T is completely online and operational, because we're going to actually switch to Wirecast from Streamlabs, and it's going to be next level.
Yeah.
Well, we should look into that, huh, Prometheus? But we got to step up our game over here.
Oh yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah, but guys, I just thank you so much for being on. It was a pleasure to watch your show to begin with, and then just to have you guys come on at the same time. I mean, right afterwards, it shows me how much you guys give a fuck about your audience. That after a 3.5 hour long show, you come on for an additional like damn near another 3 hours.
Oh fuck! Don't tell me that.
I was saying, Monty's just gonna pass out if you start talking.
Yeah, don't make it real. Don't make it real.
12:05 in California. Just letting you know.
Fuck. Yeah, but, I'm taking tomorrow off.
Do it.
I'm thinking tomorrow's gonna probably be. All I gotta do is go to work in the morning and go grab something, take my girl to the chiropractor. I'm probably gonna just
I'm probably not calling Hannibal because we always work when I call him. So
but, I'm really glad to have you guys on. I would love for you guys to tell people about your show. If you want to subscribe to them or check out their channels, their links are in the description. I would really love for you to check them out. They're awesome. So go ahead and tell the audience about your show.
Well, I am Hannibal the Beat Animal.
And I'm Monty.
And we are Hannibal and Monty from Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. Our show is, we talk shit about music, movies, comic books, video games, toys, politics, whatever the mood is. Next week's episode on Wednesday, which is going to be an early Wednesday show. So every month we do one torture episode where we torture ourselves, and so for the satisfaction of the fans. Last month we watched all of the Michael Bay Transformers movies in a day or two. This month we're going to listen to all 9 Nickelback albums so we can decide once and for all, fair or foul, Nickelback is a terrible band. People said that for years. So we're going to listen to all 9 albums and we're going to decide once and for all for ourselves what we think of Nickelback. And then next month we got next month we have the Sunken Place episode, and then we have the Star Trek episode where we put together our fantasy crew, based on all of the different Star Trek characters from all the different Star Trek universes. And Monty, that means that we both need to get on our shit and watch Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, that's true.
Then the episode after that we're gonna rank all of the comic book films with black superheroes as the lead characters, which is only 7 movies: Black Panther, 3 Blades, Catwoman, Steel, and Spawn. And we're going to put them in order from best to worst.
What about Meteor Man?
Well, no,
it's not a comic movie.
Oh, I thought he was a comic book.
No, he just real cartoonish, not a comic book. And then the episode after that is going to be our torture episode of February, and
that's what's happening right after that. Fuck.
Yeah, and then that episode is going to be the one where we watch all 21 Tyler Perry, and we might have to get that back some kind of way, and I don't know exactly how. We're going to talk about that off air, but yeah,
that hurts.
But you know,
that's us.
But yeah,
that was the one that I heard about, and I said, yeah, I'm not doing that for Peanut Gallery. No.
Yeah, I'm terrified to do that Tyler Perry episode. Like, there's no part of me that is looking forward to doing that, just because I feel like the audience he makes his movies for is not me. Watching because I know he doesn't make those movies for me.
Dude, it's manufactured filmmaking. He didn't even actually like it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's the real question, and I don't want to ask. I'm gonna ask this question now, but I want to end on this so we can all ponder it and then come back to it. Does Tyler Perry think that his movies are good, or is he aware of what he's making?
He knows what he's doing.
Because,
I think he knows.
Yeah, he was in the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek, and he was in Gone Girl. And he was in Vice. So I feel like he knows what good movies are.
Mm-hmm. You know, you probably look up things he has said about his own movies. You know, you probably get an idea that way. But yeah.
Yeah, I think he just created these movies like as a stepping stone so he can just say, screw this, I'm going to the real movies.
Yeah,
it's like Medea. Well, Medea started here in New Orleans.
Don't say that. Don't say that too loud.
Don't remind me, Ben Cosworth. That was. I remember.
No, that is of note and important because then that motherfucker
fake news. Fake news.
Yeah. He basically Jim Mora'd us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He started the shit in New Orleans, and then he went to the Falcons, and then never came back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why I have nothing but fire for Tyler Perry. He turned his back on Louisiana.
Yeah. I've actually been to his studio here in Atlanta a few times, and that motherfucker is glorious. That motherfucker is beautiful. I've also talked to a bunch of people.
The one that's the old army facility?
Yep, that's the one.
No, that's a piece of shit studio.
That's okay. All right.
It actually, I say that actually from a standpoint of like working in a production facility. It's bad if I'm inside the building and I can't get a cell phone signal and I'm working on a movie.
Oh yeah. There's definitely like some signal blocks.
It's bad if I can't get my walkie-talkie to talk to the crew outside the building.
Yeah. There's definitely something in it because I noticed that both times I was there, I did not get a receptive signal there. But
it's a garbage facility. It's a garbage facility.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and to answer the question that you asked a while ago that I never got a chance to answer, the last comic I read was from the Luna Brothers called Girls.
That's good shit.
And I love this comic series so much. And there's only like 16, 17, 18 issues of it, right? When I get to a place in my life and my career, I want to turn this into a Netflix series at some point. Like I definitely want to turn this into something because I think the story is fantastic.
It is. Girls is awesome.
You know what I'm saying? But it's got to be on Netflix or some server that'll allow you to like a lot of luxury when it comes to like nudity and violence. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you want to go to HBO then?
Yeah, HBO.
Yeah, but I don't know if HBO would do this for 20 episodes. Though. And I don't think you need to do 20 episodes because it's 20 issues. I think you have to find a way to compress it down to 10. But I feel like I would literally start trying to write the screenplay for this. Or the adaptation because I think this shit is fucking amazing. I love this comic. And the super random thing is I don't know if you've noticed my wall, my room, but my entire room is draped. I do this in every place I live. My entire wall is nothing but just comic book pictures. Right? I basically just grab old comics from like super cheap comic book stores, and then I'll just pull out the pages, make it the wallpaper. Right?
Oh, okay.
I bought Girls in a discount comic section, and just for shits and giggles, and I ended up getting like issues like 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, and I just happened to open one of them, and it was like, as I was going through the pages to figure out what I wanted to use as wallpaper, I was like, this shit looks kind of gangster. And then I went and downloaded the comic and read it, and I was like, oh, this I gotta turn this into something. Because this shit is I love it. I am a fan.
Yeah, we need to talk about how much money you might have on your walls from books you've destroyed. Because I want to know what you've destroyed, because I know what some of that shit might be worth.
So I can definitely tell you that there is nothing of value on these walls. Like I was very, like most of the comics I picked are like very obscure. Like there were comic books that didn't get a lot of runs because they just weren't good comics. You know, I picked them for the graphics, not because they were good. And then like I got like the Eternals on my wall, or like the Exiles and shit like that. Like comics that people like never read.
Yeah. Like nobody wanted. I know nobody wanted that Supernatural comic behind them.
No, not at all.
No, nobody wants that shit.
No, I got Clandestines on my wall and fucking what else? This is a bunch of trash. Like when you come over, Monty, you are not gonna be impressed. Like as an actual comic reader, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is some trash. You really just put some trash on your wall.
All right. Well, there we go.
All right, guys.
All right.
Anyone else want to plug any channels or anything like that?
I mean, the at Creole Alliance stuff on Facebook and Twitter is kind of where most of our stuff ends up going because it's a lot more news feed like. Then there is the at Creole Alliance though on YouTube also that has some of our videos and stuff. You know, some things here and there. We've got some shows that are coming also. The Peanut
Gallery coming soon.
You'll hear about on the Shit Show because there's lots of tie-ins with the Shit Show.
I'll be there. I'll be there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm the Atheist Veteran. Go ahead and do your sign outs.
And I'm Prometheus the Prophet.
Yep.
Yes, I'm Monty.
I'm Hannibal, the Beat Animal, 1/3 of Earth's Mightiest production trio team, MFN. Shout out to my production partners, Ace Wanted Influence, Johnny Facebook Famous Brasco.
And I'm Ben Collinsworth, a lead producer for the Creole Alliance.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See y'all later.
Have a good one.
All right.